Hi, intrepid viewers. Here you are. Here I am, Dr. Lena, Australian sociologist, if you're new to this channel. Now, with all this epic stuff that is happening on a daily, virtually hourly basis, my big question is, where are the Dems? Now, they've just picked a new leader, Ken Martin. Ken Martin, we'll have a look at him. But I really hope he's not nice. The last thing the Dems need is another nice person, right? Kamala's gone AWOL. Sorry, but she has. Tim Walz gave a very good speech where he called out the craziness for what it is. But the others are just being so reasonable. They did a fantastic job in the confirmation hearings. But I hate to tell you, most people don't watch them, particularly not beginning to end. That's where the Dems shine with this stuff. But they need to shine in the world, out there in social media, and just go for the jugular. As we say in Australia, you need more mongrel. Now, if you're wondering why I'm wearing the hat and I've got patches on my face, it's because I've had all these sun cancers looked at because I grew up with delicate Irish skin in the tropics. So will we dive in? Will we have a look at Ken? Oh. So I digress already. Haven't pulled a card. They need to be just crystal clear and think and talk in sound bites. No more policy stuff, detail. People aren't listening to detail, going, he's just given the keys to your social security to a billionaire. Well, he is just going to gut healthcare. How are you going to pay for disaster relief? Red states actually put the question to them. You know, he's going to tank the economy, taking your job with it. Just bite-sized things on social media, please, Dems. Arr. Okay, so let's have a look at Ken Martin. Never heard of him. So he's been made head of the party. Let's have a look. Oh, my cards are upside down. Page of Pentacles. How old is he? Is he not that old? Oh, I don't like that. Just, well, now, if you're someone who doesn't actually believe in tarot and you're watching for the political content, this is a classic because it could be this and it could be that. I'm normally much more decisive, even if it's bad news. But here he is. Okay, so I think with this Page of Pentacles, it could be that he's working very closely with Kamala, but I'm not convinced Kamala's going to even stay in politics, to be honest with you. But this is the energy around that, or she was instrumental in pushing him through. There's some connection with Kamala. Underneath this, now, this is swords piercing the heart. This, I hope, because this is his obstacle, this is his challenge, he needs to work with the pain America is feeling, not cave into it himself and go, oh, what if I do something that's not polite? No, 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 no. He has to work with that pain. The legal system has a big role to play here, and we've talked about this before. The only thing really standing between the US and being a failed state is not the Supreme Court. It's only that the courts will give relatively good decisions on all this torrent of legal cases. We won't be able to keep up with the legal cases. There'll be too many for the Supreme Court. That's how bad it is. Be saved by the fact that a really critical case doesn't get to the Supreme Court. Okay, we're in Disneyland. All right. But he's concerned about that. Now, this is what I mean. It could be this, could be that. Could be people disillusioned with the Dems, having not heard them speak for 6 weeks. Or it could be walking away. Ken Martin walks away from the old corporate Dem way of doing things, being reasonable. What gives me a bit of optimism for this card for him is all the cups are up, right? So he is making this decision himself, which is important. And I like his outcome card. This is the Knight of Wands, actions, opportunities, do it. So let's hope he's got a loud hailer and he uses it, right? Use the bullhorn, Ken. I mean, really. Okay, so we can only keep our fingers crossed for him. Now, presumably that's a good appointment. No guarantees yet, because look, it was like putting Merrick Garland in charge of everything and choosing a decent man. That was a terrible decision to put him in. These are not decent, polite handshake times. So where was I going with that? Oh, other bad appointments. Kash Patel, his hearing. What a twerp is this man? He didn't even pretend to be up to the job. Just said, the big guy's got my back. Time's up. That was him. Charming. Absolutely. But after Hegseth, Kash Patel, you have education. Linda McMahon. Prior experience, world wrestling. I found out at the age of 11 that pro wrestling was fake. And you must have seen something on her. She's married to one of the ancient pro wrestlers. And part of their shtick is for him to kiss the bikini girl and have her stone-faced in the audience. This is the caliber of these people. And she's been put in charge of education. I can't. Actually, you'd think you can't be shocked anymore, but they find a new way, don't they? They find a new way. Linda McMahon. Well, she should be all right because the only job she has to do is close the doors of the school and the department because they're not going to fund the states. Okay, the next question I'm going to ask actually is that the Dems need to bait the GOP and name states. Okay, how is this latest thing going to affect you, Kentucky? How's it going to affect you, Carolina, North and South? Actually push it back on who these people voted for. Name names. Be rude. You've got a country to save, Dems. Get on with it. Let's have a look. I want to know, because at the moment, the GOP are just feudal serfs, right? They're just lining up to kiss his sandals. But what's going on behind the scenes, particularly in Congress, the GOP, it's the valley of the hyenas, as I call it. Because there's no point what you do if Congress rubber stamps him, it's all over Red Rover, like far out. Okay. Dems in Congress. Well, quelle surprise. Oh, look at these cards. Look at this. Oh my God. They know they've stuffed it up, right? How did they get out from under? They actually can, but they don't think they can at this moment. And I freely admit to the Schadenfreude in this context. They worked hard. Here's a sword. Can you put it there? And here's another one. Can you just pierce me here? I mean, this is what they've been doing for 9 years. But actually, they've run out of body space for another sword of ritual capitulation and humiliation. It is just, they're going to try and get away with what they can get away with still and again. None of these cards are about communicating. I don't think they've got there yet. I think they're just as freaked out as we are for a completely different lot of reasons. At this point, they're being passive. He's got them hamstrung and hogtied, right? So unless the rhinos stand up, they're in deep trouble. So Dems, take advantage. This is what you do in a street fight. Kick them when they're down. I'm supposed to be representing higher thinking. Sorry. Oh. Sometimes you've got to just push. Okay. I'm just remembering one time when I was a kid and there was a street fight, a literal street fight going on. And one of the guys who won his part of the fight, and he's standing there next to me. I'm probably 6 or something. And he goes, "You know what, girl? Sometimes you've just got to punch the information in." And I've always remembered that. Someone said it to me in a different context years later, and I might share that story another day, but that was when it first happened. Okay, now, let me go on here. Oh, yes. So now I see the We Stand with Canada movement is catching on. Let's have a look how the Yeti is going to cope with this pushback. Trudeau's been great, and because he's already officially resigned, he's going for it. But how is the Yeti feeling about this pushback from Canada? Now, in a magical world, we wouldn't want anyone to be impacted who didn't vote for this. However, it's a pretty big stick. Energy is a pretty big stick. And this whole thing's going to paralyze the auto industry. And no one's ever going to buy another Tesla again. You know, he can kiss that goodbye. Okay, so how is the Yeti is he now handling this pushback from Mexico and specifically Canada? Look, as someone said about Denmark, don't mess with the Vikings. Love that. Okay, so this is the Yeti. Oh. Oh, that we're going to get more leaks, more stuff going on here. Look, I don't know that it's so much him. I think this is the kids. I think this is Ivanka, Don Jr., and Frodo symbolically. They're actually exhausted by this stuff. And they would, well, at least Ivanka would be making a plan what she's going to do. Um, Don Jr. really just has to go to rehab. Let's stop pretending there. And because he's a rich boy, he'll get into rehab. Everyone else has to wait a year, like I think this is them. I think it also represents his White House staff. This could be the new communications wizard, the 20-year-old blonde that comes out and goes, it's all good. Little paint, little tiny paint, but it'll be okay. I think they're worn out now and they've barely made it through 2 weeks. Look at this for exhaustion. I think this is maggoteers, right? I think this is maggoteers. This is as the realization's dawning, but it could also be part of him crying inside in the sense he doesn't have emotions. So it's not actually depression or anything that humans have. It's more, this isn't fun anymore. It's not working out. It's not what I thought. He's having fantasies of getting out of Dodge, right? I think he would actually, if he had his own way, go somewhere. I don't think overseas because he's nudging 80 and, New Yorker. It's like he just wants to go, just wants to go. How else is he feeling? This is interesting. I think first time around, he had some powerful players on his side. Most of them went from being at the top of their game and sold their souls and went to support him. But now they're still looking at jail time and stuff because a lot of these cases that we've seen be put away are actually parked and not actually over. I think this is people are clawing at the glass to see him, but he's not actually there. I think he's actually left the building. I just realized I think this is mental because it is a lot of stress. Destroying the world is a big job, you know. So he is stressed. I think he's falling apart inside. So God help everyone in his radius. These are the leaks. This is people talking on the inside. I think this is everybody talking because let's face it, this is a crisis, the likes of which we have not seen in our lifetime. And the reason for that is it hasn't happened for 240 years. Last time round, American Revolution, the Mad King, it's exactly the same. What are we going to do about the Mad King? I think this represents the armed services, the Pentagon talking, and the Pentagon will leak, deliberately will leak like a sieve to reporters. Please don't bother with the legacy media. They've actually, well, they're not even journalists anymore. So it's not only the sane washing of Trump, it's not only the fact they deprived Bernie at the time and they deprived Dems of screen time even. They are part and parcel, just like the GOP is. The Pentagon has some massive, massive decisions to make. Are they going to follow this commander-in-chief into wherever he is? Go and invade Venezuela, Mexico, take over Greenland? Are they going to or not? We really have to watch this space. Could they even turn on the White House? There's a story for another day. But look at this for now. I think this is people talking behind the scenes how to deal. And I think public servants are not happy. They'll be leaking. Aviation, they just sacked all the head of safety and we've had the 2 crashes. Everything's going to be leaking. Oh my God. So let's have a quick look at February. We're just at the beginning. Don't forget tomorrow, I'm on with Linda G on Monday at 3:30 Pacific time. Okay, so Linda G, the Comanche psychic, we're having a get together. Now, get your act together, Lena. Let's have a look. Oh, what fell out for February? Hermit. Okay, now I normally do each week. What I'm doing this time, I've decided, is I'll do the tone of February, but a day is a week is a month. There's no point going week by week. So just the tone. I'm sorry. Here we go. Oh, that's interesting. Good, good, good. Okay, all right. It's, in a way, this is for you rather than, these aren't political cards in the sense of obviously there's going to be drama and major, major, major chaotic and destructive maneuvers. It hasn't gone that way. This is for you. These are two cards of staying calm. Stay very calm. You cannot let your energy be leached by these vampires and ride every bit of horror. This is about, put them together. This is about privacy and regrouping. Right. Now, with the Hermit, because the Hermit is a wise soul, it's also the card of higher education and learning. The Hermit shines the light for others. Okay. This is about solving the riddles and the enigmas represented by the stained glass and giving yourself enough quiet time that you can feel nourished and nurtured, right? Knight of Cups, Queen of Cups. Now, beware the false knight, all right? With the Queen of Cups, it's the same energy. It's really interesting. The message with the Queen of Cups is, do you take the lid off the cup and let all your emotions out, or do you put the lid on the cup and stay calm? Calm, calm, calm is this particular message. All the systems, the Hierophant represents all the wings of society, the social contracts we have with our government, with our defense people, with police and law and order. So we've got a court, the White House, the church, organized religion. At this point, the United States, I think, is uniquely placed because so many people still identify as Christian and so many got dragged into, I blame it right back on Jimmy and Tammy Baker and the Falwells and all of this prosperity gospel crap, like donate to me. I've got a hotline to Jesus. The naivety of people who got sucked into that for generations. And now you've still got these foul creatures posing as reverence, right? Who just use the fear of the Old Testament and none of the complexity and compassion of the New Testament. All these are being tested right now, right? And you know what? We might see one, two, or all of them crash under this. It becomes a question of, will the rhinos stand up to this? Because until Congress changes and matures and has the courage to stand up, everyone is at risk. But in terms of the personal thing, you're to stay calm. Let these systems play out. Now, staying calm is not the same as not caring and not being in touch. Okay. But just do it in a controlled way. You need to be calm so you can function. First, excuse me, nothing fancy going on here. So you can function and help people out near you, whether that's geographically or online. So just calm. I'm talking to myself. I've been, okay. So I'm also going to put up another one or two clips that I've been impressed by. And these tend to be older guys like Tennessee Brando. These are Dems. They're blue dots in red states. And how they talk about masculinity is really interesting. And I think the core of what we're facing now. You've got the Tim Walzes who represent the highest form of secure masculinity to protect and serve, right? And then you've got in Australia, we say galahs because galahs are mad, noisy parrots, and the rest are galahs. So check out those links when you get to the comments. Thank you. And don't forget, no buy Mondays. No, it's taking off. And I'll see you tomorrow on Linda G's channel. Take care, guys. Ciao.